Om Namah Shivaya, Asenest Fire, here on the way of Dharma. I hope the camera is fine and you can see me well. Don't you mind the slanted view of my altar? I didn't do the correct calculations when I was adjusting it. Today we are going to talk about the subject which is very, very sad. But it's a fact of life, it's a part of life, it's something we cannot avoid for too long. And I'll be preaching from the Bhagavad Gita and showing you what I mean. It's not going to be wholly based on the Bhagavad Gita, but I will make references as to what I am saying, to confirm what I am saying, to show you that it's not coming out of my mind. It's not a wrong interpretation of the Vedic scriptures or the occult scriptures. Guys, before we continue, please don't be turned off by my references of the Bhagavad Gita. I am not forcing the religion of Hinduism onto you, and I'm not advocating for any forcing of Hinduism on anyone. We are doing Sanatana Dharma, using mantras from Sanatana Dharma in the Sanskrit language, which is far from Hindu culture and Hindi, I'd like to say, because the greatest Swamis, the greatest yogis don't call themselves Hindus. It's a Persian word which was used to describe an Indian culture. So we are not talking about culture, we are talking about Dharma, we are talking about spirituality, we are talking about the occult side of the spirituality that is practiced in the East. So guys, before we continue, please make sure that you do subscribe, make sure that you do like, in case you might forget liking the video before we go even further. So we are going to talk about a sad subject of life, which is death. What happens to the soul after death? We'll talk about it. Before we go further, let me show you something. This is a Nazar anklet. I am selling these. These are very, very powerful. It can be used to protect yourself from the evil eye. You can use yourself to appease the Lord Satan. And also, when you tie this on your left foot on an auspicious day, your digestive system will be balanced. It balances your gastrointestinal tract, and it will make sure that your bowels are executed effortlessly and harmoniously. Om Namah Shivaya. Second is this ring. I sell this ring also as a protection from the evil wishes of other people and harmful magic. It is iron. It protects against fairies, demons, and lower vibrational entities. It is also good in appeasing shani. I also sell brass bracelets, sell silver bracelets, and copper bangles, which are bangles. I also sell the chakra, 7 chakra bracelets, good for meditation, good for peace of mind, and good for balancing the chakras. As you can see, they correspond to the 7 chakras. Yes guys, so let's continue. I'm also selling jap malas. This is a rose quartz jap mala. Can be used for some mohan and financial mantra japas and sadhanas in Sanskrit. So guys, the energy on this one is very, very powerful. Let's talk about it and then we dive into the topic. I bought this last week, and then after buying it, I didn't cleanse it. I don't know if, but I'm always underestimating such things. I didn't cleanse it, and as soon as I wore it, I felt so dizzy and so overwhelmed. The energy was too much. I couldn't even sleep properly until I took it and put it in the salt water and soaked it in the salt water overnight, and then in the morning I took it out to charge it out in the sun. I know you are not supposed to charge rose quartz in the sun, but I did so. I also sell what are these? I also sell tiger's eye bracelets. I also sell the jap mala made out of tiger's eye stones. It can be used for attracting luxuries and protection and confidence and giving you insights and ideas into improving your life and business finances. Om Namah Shivaya. Let me also show you what I also sell, these Rudraksha malas at a fee for those of you who are in South Africa. Today you might notice I'm wearing a shirt. I'm trying to appeal to the YouTube algorithm because apparently videos whereby you are nude or have no clothes on, they don't trend as much and they are not recommended by the algorithm to a wider publicity. But yes, it's fine, we'll continue. I'm feeling hot already, but yes, we'll continue. What else did I want to show you? Okay, yes, I bought this last week, and then on Sunday I did a japa of Lord Surya. After doing a Lord Surya japa combined with the energy of this mala, I went out with my friend, not immediately of course, but we had to go and buy something, and then we went out, and then there were two sangomas. For those of you who don't know sangomas, sangomas are basically shamans in our South African spirituality. They are shamans, they are witch doctors, you know, your herbal doctors basically. So I think those sangomas are initiates, okay? As initiating as they were, we then passed, and then as we were passing, they knelt down on their knees, and then they did a salutation to me. I don't know what that means. I asked my friend, he said that they acknowledge me as somebody who has a strong ancestral presence. I don't like giving the credit to the ancestors because I am doing my sadhana and I'm doing my mantra japa. I know they have led me to spirituality, of course, and I'm thankful that they give me a chance to be able to live through this incarnation, having not to face so many challenges in spirituality. I'm thankful for that. But in terms of sadhana, when I do sadhana, when I accumulate energy, when I accumulate shakti, that's not to be placed on my ancestors. It's to be placed on me because I am the wizard. I am the one manipulating the reality. So I didn't like the credit giving. So I interpreted it as though the initiates were seeing me as somebody who can initiate them. A guru was seeing me as their guru. So I take it that way. I don't take it as an ancestral presence. Even when I was beat up by the mob, and then I didn't die obviously, and then people kept on saying I had a strong ancestral presence, but I don't have a strong ancestral presence. I do yoga, I do pranayama, I have Shakti energy, and I am a wizard basically. I hope I'm not offending anyone. Please, I do not want to offend anyone in whatever I say, in however I interpret things. Please guys, don't witchcraft me. Don't try and spiritual warfare me. Take information from I channel. I am not bashing anyone. Let's continue guys. I love you all. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Mahavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So yes guys, what happens to the soul after death? Before we go in further into the topic, let's talk about the ancestors. The ancestors, when they choose you to be the one to be a healer or a wizard in the family or a sorcerer, they choose you based on the energy that you will be having. They are able to sway events in your favor to make sure that your spiritual journey is much more harmonious. Okay, so you get numerological charts and astrological charts that are in harmony with what you are supposed to be perpetuating when you come into this life. Okay, so they do that, and they also help you with whatever they can, protection wise, spiritually. I'm thankful for that. Okay, however, spiritually, it's not a must to be stuck on ancestral worship. Okay, it's not a must to be stuck on ancestral worship. Why? Because you have to raise your consciousness. You can only do so much by ancestral worship. And ancestral worship, you are basically worshiping something which is external, outside of you. It's a great practice. It will give you good karma even in the afterlife, in the next life, not afterlife, basically in the next life. So I'm trying to find a page, a chapter on the Bhagavad Gita where it makes reference to this. Guys, I might have to upload it raw as I've been doing with the other ones, because now I'm noticing that it's actually going to take much longer than I had imagined, because I want to be thorough in this topic and I want to make sure that I cover all the aspects of this topic, not rushing through it and not misleading and misguiding some of you with omission of information. So guys, the ancestors basically do that. Okay, and then when they do that, obviously you'll have a harmonious incarnation. And then what happens? You do spiritual works. When you do spiritual works and ancestral worship, you are giving energy to the ancestors. The energy is enough to raise their vibration, to take them out of the hell that they are, or to even raise them further into the heaven that they are in. You understand? So when you do that, you are increasing the vibration of your ancestors. You might have an ancestral genealogy, or you might have a bunch of ancestors which are in lower forms of locusts. Basically, they are what? They are what can I say? They are dead, and then they end up in lower dimensions of existence in their death. You understand? So they might be in a hell of some sort, they might be in a torment of some sort, they might be in a lower vibrational frequency. Because what happens when you die is that when you die, you take along your mindset, you take along your fears, you take along your emotions, you take along your sanskar, you take along your karmas. Because what did I say in the other videos? I did say that you are a recording machine for the Most High, the Most High being the soul. So when you record such karmas, such actions, you die and then you take that with you to the afterlife, and then you will be in a certain dimension or a loka that will suit what you were doing on earth, basically. So you just maintain your hierarchy, you just maintain your mindset, you just maintain your karmas, basically. So when you find ancestors that die and then they haven't done much spiritual work, they haven't done much accumulation of positive vibrational knowledge, they end up in such hells. So what can you do as a sadhaka or a family member who is sent on earth, even not to redeem the ancestors, but sent to earth for your purpose, of course? What can you do? You can do such works to help raise the vibration of the ancestors into higher vibrational frequency dimensions. In African culture, what do? We slaughter animals. You can slaughter a sheep, you can slaughter chicken to give that energy to the ancestors to propel them further into enlightenment. I hope I'm doing this correctly. Yes, it looks like I'm recording. So yes guys, you are doing exactly that. So when you do that, you raise their frequency vibration to higher what? Do that in African culture, we slaughter, we remember them daily, we pour libations. Okay. However, these people are responsible for a large part of your life. They are responsible of your connection. They are responsible of your connection with the Godhead, which is the higher divine existence, basically. So I'm just looking for something, guys. I'm looking for something. I've been looking. So yes, guys, that's what we do basically. They are responsible for a large part of your connection with the divine. A large part of it is what is allocated to the ancestors. So they can either ruin you or make you. However, when you start to be a sadhaka, when you start to be a magician, when you start to realize parts of your true self, you are now in control of a major part of your life and destiny. That's why it's possible for the energy that you came into with, which is your numerological chart, your astrological chart, and your energy that you came with it, the doshas and whatever. It's possible for you to rise above that. Even the zodiacs, you can rise above them, because now you are what? You are a wizard. You have conquered the 12 zodiac signs. You have become the Christ, the 13th zodiac. So now you are able to do what? You are able to rise above it and then dictate your destiny based on what you know, what you have learned, and what you are doing, which is your spiritual practice, which is your sadhana. So yes guys, let me continue further. Yes, so you are responsible for a large part of your life. In famous satsangs of people like BK Shivani, they like referring to your astrological charts, your numerological readings, and such readings as your balance sheet. When you do certain sadhana, when you do works, it deducts from your balance sheet. You become purer. You clean your sanskaras, you clean your karmas. You do everything that is opposite and positive, building a positive karma, a high vibrational energy body, a high vibrational human being. So you raise yourself and your consciousness. So now those karmas are no longer applicable to that higher, new, born again soul. So yes guys, that's what I mean by that. And then also the light that you accumulate from the sadhana and the spiritual works, it's enough to liberate your entire ancestors. Even doing the libations, doing the sadhana, the pitra sadhana of ancestors, and remembering your ancestor, your ancestral worships and all that stuff. It's nothing compared to when you are doing spiritual sadhana and accumulating energy and shakti. You are able to liberate all of them, and they'll meet you at the other side, thanking you because of the light that you carry. You'll be able to raise the entire vibration of your ancestors. So you can stop, or you can choose not to be as consistent in your ancestral worship and focus more on your sadhana. Still, it's a good positive thing, because you will be accumulating energy, and by way of genetics, by way of genetic memory bank, you are raising the frequency of your entire ancestors. That's powerful, guys. So it brings me back to the point of giving the ancestors credit of even the sadhaka's works. People should stop saying I have a strong ancestral presence. They should say, man, whatever that you are doing, you are powerful, man. You understand? I know I'm not this body, but I am a soul. And there's karmas that I'm performing. So they should start doing that. They feel my energy. They feel that I'm a sadhaka of some sort, or a practitioner of the occult to a certain extent. Not giving credit to my ancestors. Yes, people of African origin like to place most of their responsibilities and most of their power in ancestors. They've turned spirituality into a religion. They've forgotten their true selves, and now they are pointing everything to their ancestors. There's ancestors which are not good for your development and spiritual vibrational consciousness. When you do that to such people, they take advantage of you. And trickster spirits may come as your ancestors once you start to dabble with necromancy. So when they come to you, they will trick you, basically. So I don't know if I'm going to do more of necromancy works, maybe in the future, because I find myself going back to the things that I said I wouldn't do, like accumulation of magical tools and such things, but I find myself doing that. So guys, I'm not saying that one day I might wake up. I won't wake up and take to the principles of ancestral worship. You must remember, I am my own guru. I never took initiation from anyone. I initiated myself into the spiritual journey. So some of the steps I might have skipped in my journey. So I might have to go back and do it. But so far, in my short period of occult works and sadhana, this is what I've learned. When you do sadhana, you inevitably raise the vibration of your ancestors and you liberate the entirety of them just from the energy that you accumulate. Om Namah Shivaya. So let's continue. I wanted to show you the part where it says, where it talks about such things. I forgot about it. Ah, man. Okay, now let's talk about something which is what happens after death. For one who has taken his birth, death is certain. And for one who is dead, death is certain. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Death is certain for those of us who are alive. So we must acknowledge death. The god of death, Yama. And for those who have died, death is certain. Unless, of course, they've reached the Parabrahman, the supreme consciousness of Krishna. So it's of no use to lament and cry about death, because whenever we die, certainly we are going to reincarnate. And then whenever we are born, it is certain we are going to die. So it's a never-ending cycle of life and death, of birth and death. So in order to do what? To break out of the cycle, you will have to do spiritual works and acknowledge the higher self, the Krishna consciousness in you. I like the Bhagavad Gita. It confuses most of you. Maybe it's because of some other translations. But in my translation, it always refers to the mindset of Krishna or to enlightenment as Krishna consciousness. They don't say that you must become like Krishna. They say you have to attain Krishna consciousness. It's something which is latent within or inside of you. It's something which is attainable to everyone. And it is said in the other chapter that Krishna is the super soul of all living things. super soul, meaning the higher soul, the super soul of all living things. Behind every living creation, every living creature, there's a higher divine force, a higher self, which is what the Krishna consciousness that they are referring to here. In Christianity, they might call it the holy guardian angel. So yes, guys, let's talk about what happens to the soul after death. When you live, you are a recording device. You record as much as you can, and then after recording as much as you can, you do what? You die. You still maintain the same sanskaras. You still maintain the same mindset. You still maintain the same karmas. Nothing changes. And then you are allocated a certain dimension of existence in the afterlife, which will match to your what? To your frequency of vibration. So when you die, you go to that. You can't carry money with you. You can't carry your wife with you. You can't carry your daughter or your children or your son with you. You can't carry ones that you are sexually attracted to when you die. You just carry your mind, your emotions, your karmas, and whatever that you have recorded that will go with you in the afterlife. There's so many things that could influence your next reincarnation, which is what? Whatever that you were thinking for the most part of your life, it will determine your next reincarnation. So you should be careful of what you think. Always maintain a high vibrational frequency mindset, as tough as that might be. But at least during the moment of death, think of the Krishna consciousness, think of Krishna or the higher devas and devatas or the higher vibrational entities, and then you automatically go to them. And so powerful to a point whereby you find someone you find someone who is doing what? Who is basically somebody who is in the path of material acquisition, or someone who has been living a bad life. You find a criminal, a devoted criminal, one who does criminal acts so much to a point whereby you see the passion in his crimes. You see the passion in the billionaires and the ones who are accumulating material things, and then you judge them. But then just at the moment of death, or just in the last days before death, they realize this higher force, this higher Krishna which is inside of them. The same devotion, the same passion that they were following their material acquisition, their criminal lives with, their sexual lives with, they use it to pursue this higher entity. That drive, it is able to take them to enlightenment and liberation instantly, or a better life if that's not the case. They are able to escape a certain part of their karmas, or rather nullify a certain karma of their lives to give or bring about a better path in the next lifetime. That is why it is said in Bhagavad Gita that you must always chant the name of Krishna or the name of the higher self, to ensure that you have that name only in your mind, so that when you die, it will propel you and carry you further into the higher dimensions of existence. Yes, guys, there's been an energetic shift which is powerful. I don't know what's the cause, but people have been feeling all sorts of things, me included, and it's been happening ever since last year for me, and I don't know where this is going. I think it's best if we do meditation and focus a lot on our two selves, which is the soul. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita that the soul is not breakable, It is not calculable. It cannot be cut. It cannot be touched. It cannot be bent. It cannot be done anything basically. What suffers after death and in the afterlife, what suffers is what basically is the avatars, the many gross bodies that you have taken to finally form the physical body. When you die, you have several other bodies basically that relate to the several other dimensions, of course. So the physical body is just a body you use to live in this earthly dimension. And then the astral body is a body that you use to live in the astral loka. And then there's the P3 body, we use it to live in the P3 loka. And then there's other bodies that will be suitable for the other lokas. Okay, so when you die, you just take over another body, which might be the preta, which might be the P3, which might be the svarga, and the other bodies. Okay, so when you die, you are merely discarding those shifts or those veils that are covering your true self. And then what happens? You discard them. Okay, but in actuality, your soul is laying there in bliss. It's untouchable. However, if it has not accumulated a certain amount of knowledge and frequency of vibration, it will force you or compel you to keep on coming back on earth and reincarnating as individuals to make sure that you accumulate the knowledge that is required to take you and propel you further into liberation. So there's many things happening in reincarnation. We have genetics that date back to our ancestors, even further millions of years ago. We have that in our DNA. We have recorded such information. It is not consciously remembered, but it's there. I like the book that I've been reading. It says that some behaviors and some habits, almost all habits and all living instincts, come instinctually to those of us who get born on earth. As a soul who has been sent on an expedition on earth, I forgot to show you this, guys. This is a Raksha knot. It helps you in protecting you against your enemies, and it helps you in defeating your enemies. It corresponds to the planet Mars. It symbolizes the sisterly love, and it's very, very protective. So yes, guys. So what am I saying? When you take the expedition of coming here on earth as a new soul, if you had no genetics that you were born under, you'd be a fool basically. You'd be primitive to a point whereby you don't know how to use fire. You don't know how to do anything basically. Even to eat, it has to come from a sanskar. So those are some of the habits that we have recorded right from the first creation. There's many other behaviors which we have not recorded, like the over-saturation of technology that we are experiencing in this current life, like the sugar content we are eating in this current life, like the patterns of living that we have been exposed to in this life. This is where you see many people fumbling and all that stuff. So all our instincts, all our sanskaras definitely have a cause in our past life, definitely have a cause in our genetic memory bank. Now, okay, there's a way to be a new soul and come into earth for a certain purpose. There's also a way for that. When you get born through a certain family, your soul undergoes a certain implant or an imprint of consciousness, which is what? The consciousness of the entire ancestors. That consciousness will be helping you to be able to live and survive in this physical existence. Without that, you would die in an instant. You need the instincts to survive, the flight or fight response. You need certain senses to sense when danger is coming, certain edges to help you to survive, hunt, and do all that stuff. It comes from what? The previous lives and your genetic memory bank. So the subject of reincarnation, if you are successful in life, if you are suffering intensely in this life, definitely there's a past life involved. Everything has a cause. For every cause, there's an effect. For every effect, there's definitely a certain cause. So if you suffer intensely, it is because of your past life. That which you have in your memory, in your genetic memory, is causing the suffering, or is causing the easy material acquisition in this life, the easy occult knowledge acquisition in this life. It all comes from the past. Now guys, this subject of reincarnation is also a danger on its own. Suppose you are a grandmother living in the slavery days, like in the uprising here in Soweto, in Africa, let's say in Africa as a continent. And then you do what? You never got the chance to be employed, and you still want to pursue an education, a degree. You will be reincarnated at a later part whereby education is accessible for free and such things are accessible to the large public. So you will reincarnate to obtain that degree. You will reincarnate to obtain the employment because you died looking for such. You died having such desires. So now you see how stupid this thing is. Imagine reincarnating in this life just to pursue something which was put there by the white man. The white man's way of thinking, the degree, incarnating for that. So many souls that are being born now, you find that they master technology, they master all that stuff, spirituality. These are the souls that were born before that never got to master that aspect of living. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry that you had to see that. Anyway, yes, I'm also glad that I've removed it, because I would have watched the entire video like, man, remove that thing. So yes guys, what am I saying? I'm saying that the souls, they never got to access this knowledge in their lives. Maybe you find that they were hunter-gatherers and knowledge wasn't accessible. So now they get born into this age where there's the internet. To master the internet, to master technology, there has to be a generation born before you to record that information in the genetics, and then you improve on what's there, which is what the white man did. The white man came from the genetics of the black man and many other various species. So the white man is merely improving on the knowledge of the black man, but they can't do it spiritually. They have to do it technologically, because they can't handle some of the energy that comes from the spirit. So you understand. So that's why it appears as though they are better in material acquisitions, better in civilization. And also their children, they are used to wealth, and they are having that information in their genetics. So when they reincarnate, it's much easier and much more likely for a white person to be richer than the black person, because in our memory we have the slavery memory, we have the struggle memory, the illiteracy, and all that stuff. So we are not much more capable of adapting into this lifestyle. But then the souls that are coming now, they have accumulated that knowledge in their bank, their memory bank. So now they're living a much better life than their ancestors. So that's what is basically happening before you come to Earth. You have to get a certain amount of knowledge on how to survive Earth, and then you get to pass on. Guys, further evidence to show you that reincarnation is there. And I used to be a critic of this whole idea, but now I fully understand it. Well, not fully, I partly understand it. There's people who have certain birthmarks. Maybe you have a birthmark here, and it's in a certain way. Do you know what could be the cause of that birthmark? One, your ancestor in the past could have had it. Two, you in a past life could have been hurt in a certain way whereby you had a traumatic wound. So now, because you have changed a body but you have the same memory, and then you have a new body, the memory remembers the person who was stabbed here, the person who was plunged with a hot iron through the chest. So now it's expressing itself as a birthmark. People who are fed, some of them, they might have a memory whereby in their past life they were what? They were hungry. So in this life, unconsciously, they have to eat as much as they can to avoid their perils of their past life. Please don't attack me, guys. Homosexual people. I'm sorry, guys. The causes of your homosexuality might be in the past. You may be born in the past as a female and you had sexual desires that you didn't fulfill. So now it's hindering your progress and you're living in this present life. Same with thieves. They didn't have a chance to stealing in the present life. Basically, every desire, every thought that you have definitely will have to seek what? Expression. It might not seek expression in this present life because of how your destiny is structured, how your numerological numbers and astrological charts are structured. Might not seek expression, but definitely will in the next life. The nature of thought is to go out into the universe and seek expression and then come back to its owner to create about that physical equivalent. So when it comes back to its owner and finds that it can't be applicable in the owner, it goes back into the universe to carry and accumulate more momentum. It will come definitely in the next life to do what? To seek expression. This is what karma is basically. So it's a large determining factor in your reincarnation. You should be careful and mindful of your thoughts and karma, because it will cause about either a detriment in your human conscious evolution or your soul consciousness evolution, or it might hinder you in your journey. Om Namah Shivaya, Arsonist Fire. I hope I've covered what happens to you after death, what happens to your soul after death. Pay attention and remember that nothing happens to your soul, to you as a soul, but something happens to what? To the bodies, the shifts that you have taken to maneuver in this existence and other dimensions. So that happens to those bodies because they are an extension of your soul. So your soul is how is using those shifts to interpret different realities. So your soul can be impacted through those shifts. So because the soul can't be touched, measured, bent, made to feel anything, the only way to impart knowledge to a soul is through these shifts. So things happen to these shifts after death to further teach the soul and determine their reincarnation and their rebirth in the next life. I hope you've understand this subject of what happens to your soul after death, and I hope you now are giving an interest to the subject of reincarnation, and now I hope you have an understanding that whatever you do spiritually, it will liberate your ancestors. You have the power because you are living now. You have the power to determine your next incarnation. You have the power to either counteract the adverse effects of your numerological chart or your astrological chart, or you can simply reprogram your entire balance sheet to bring about a better existence, a better incarnation in the next life, or to even attain enlightenment in this life, which is close to impossible for those of us who are new in this knowledge. Maybe some monk somewhere in the Himalaya or in India is getting that opportunity to go into moksha in this lifetime. Om Namah Shivaya. So I hope you understand those subjects, and I hope you understand the greatness that you can achieve, which can be evident in this life from the initiates who are going the ordinary way of initiation, which is what also, there's a word that I'm looking for and it's running away. But it basically means the normal way of living. So it can be evident even in the people who are going initiation in the orthodox way of tradition. The people will notice you. It doesn't matter what spiritual practice you practice. When you practice spirituality, you accumulate light, and it will be enough to what? To liberate your ancestors. They are not angry at me for being a practitioner of Sanatana Dharma, or being a summoner of demons, or a practitioner of Hermeticism, or of doing numerology and doing all that stuff. As long as I'm accumulating energy, it will liberate them, it will raise their consciousness, because there's certain concepts that you can't get from the orthodox school of initiation, which are sangomas and traditional healers, and it will lead you to be stuck in a pattern of life whereby you do low works, basically. My ancestors are not angry at me for doing that. How do you see that they are not angry? The people that feel my energy say my ancestral presence is strong, and if they try to do a reading on me, they'll say my ancestors are pleased with me. So that's how you see that they are not angry with me. I've accumulated energy. I'm doing spiritual works. I'm not doing a culture thing. I'm not destroying their culture, because culture is an illusion that will enable you to live and get trapped on this earth. I have to conserve my surname. I have to conserve my culture. It is my tradition to be here. Nonsense. It has been done and dusted. Now we are in the New Testament. the new body and mind, guys. So we are doing spirituality, and we are doing what? Accumulating energy. So your ancestors will not be angry at you for accumulating energy and liberating them. So don't be stuck in a religious form of thinking in any way. Either veganism, ancestral worship, history of the ancient Egypt, no to gays, Black men matters and all that stuff, Black Panther, Black Power. Do not fanatize or religionize or make a religion out of things that are not supposed to be a religion. Don't follow isms and schisms and schisms. Don't do that. Seek light. It will help you in your karma and in your ancestral memory bank. Om Namah Shivaya. Arsonist fire. Here on the way of Dharma. Please make sure that you do like. Please make sure that you do subscribe. Please make sure that you contact me on my email. It is arsonist.fya@gmail.com. It's arsonist.fire@gmail.com. Contact me for numerological readings. Contact me for consultations. Contact me if you need information in a problem that you are facing. I might have the answers. I might not have the answers, but definitely you'll be charged for the consultation. So yes, guys, Arsonist Fire, please make sure that you do contact me in the aforementioned email, and I'll be proud and happy to help you. For those of you who are in South Africa, the products that I've mentioned are applicable only to you. Om Namah Shivaya. The Jap Malas start from 60 bucks going upwards, meaning that's 60 rands going upwards. So text me, email me on what you want to obtain, and I'll courier it to you wherever you are in South Africa or in SADC regions, whereby they are South African countries but have been divided by a white man border, like Lesotho, Swaziland and all that stuff, where PEP courier is allowed basically. Just contact me and I'd be happy and honored to help you and communicate with you. Om Namah Shivaya. Arsonist Fire.